Hey everybody, it is your favorite Wild PK. Yes, it's Lady Abdullah, and I have one of my friends here today. I mean, she's more like a sister, and she's almost like a baby sister as well, because like I was her RA back at school. But I mean, you're talking about anointed, you're talking about an amazing worshiper, you're talking about a minister at heart, you're talking about a sister's keeper, you're talking about, I mean, there's not too many women that I know that just genuinely has a motherly vibe. And that's Miss Jasmine Carson. You guys welcome her to Pillow Talk Moments. But Jasmine, I don't like to tell anybody's story, so introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, love.
Hello, family. It is an absolute pleasure to be in the same space as my sister here. I am Jasmine Carson. I am a native of Warner Robins, Georgia, or Middle Georgia, via Bonnie, or however you want to say it, Byron, Georgia. All those places are where I call home. I am a Fort Valley State University graduate. Recently turned 31 years old, rolled easily into my second year of marriage with my awesome husband, Cullen Carson. And I'm just out here tasting and seeing that the Lord is good. And
you better taste and see. You better taste it.
I love God. I enjoy worshiping. I have the honor of leading God's children into worship. I have a career with the government, and I also have a career as a life and creative coach. I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, and I'm a friend. And ultimately, I'm excited to be here, and let's get some good conversation going, and prayerfully, it can help somebody on the way. So that's me, y'all. Hey.
That's right. That is the sole purpose of this Pillow Talk Moments. Of course, I'm doing Pillow Talk Conference, but Pillow Talk Moments was birthed in the midst of doing Pillow Talk Conference, just so that we can have vulnerable, honest conversations, woman to woman, women in faith, even Black women as well. And just trying to understand our bodies, our roles in life, the things that we want to do. So I'm going to dive right on in. Now, I know your husband, but I don't know your guys' love story. So how did you and Brother Carson meet? How did y'all meet?
So how we actually met? So the first time that I actually met Cullen was at the Austin Theater at in Fort Valley. I came to a show that was being put on. I think somebody from the band was putting on, and I came to support them. He was playing the bass, and I was actually there with my boyfriend at the time, my former boyfriend.
Look at this scandal.
And so when I met him, it was nothing disrespectful. That's just literally when I actually first met him. Okay. And at the end of the performance, he was standing on the stage and he saw me in the audience and he pointed at me and he was like, "Come here." And then I saw him and I looked at my boyfriend like, "Yo, you need to come with me. Like, come with me." And so, he came with me and he introduced himself. And at the time, Cullen was trying to invite different singers on the campus to come to his home and record. He was trying to promote his home studio and, increase his production skills and help out, make himself become known amongst the vocalists on the campus for what he does for his production skills. So that's why he wanted to meet me. A couple people had told him like, "Hey, you need to talk to Jasmine. She can sing, blah, blah, blah." And so he introduced himself then. I asked him to give his number to my boyfriend. Because sometimes people try that whole, "Oh, yeah, I want to work. I want to do this." And they
how musicians can be sometimes.
They try to get the number off you. So I was like, okay, if he's really serious, then I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to give you my boyfriend number and you contact him and then we'll meet up. So that is how we got introduced. And we did a couple of things together as far as music production was concerned, but we didn't actually get romantically interested in each other until years later. But that's just how we met.
Oh, but that's still a sweet story because, he was coming for your gift.
Yeah.
And y'all both were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll collaborate with you. See, ladies, not to discourage anybody out there, you know, you something that you said, Jasmine, out of respect for your boyfriend, you said, hey, if you want my number, you need to get it from my boyfriend. That takes that's a real woman move right there. Cause it's like, look, don't come for me. I protect mine. I do things in order. And I think sometimes we open ourselves up to be, I like to say, when allowing somebody to trespass on your garden, like, you're like, oh, well, I can give my number, and y'all text in the middle of the night and you're like, I don't know what happened. Guys too. I don't know what happened. So I think that was a really, really beautiful story. And to come to find out that it wasn't then, it was much later. So how did that
much later, Cullen had always made himself available. Like, hey, he's a phenomenal writer. He's a phenomenal producer, just a good all-around musician, has a great ear. And so he has always made himself available. I write as well. He's like, Jasmine, you come up with something, you got any ideas, come through, let's talk through them. I got the equipment, I got the people, like whatever you need. One day, I got this song, and I called him like middle of the night, like, hey, me and the guy before we were done. And I was like, okay, I got the song in the middle of the night. I called him and he was up. It was like late. I was like, hey, I got an idea for a song. So he was like, tomorrow, hey, come through. And we just started talking from there, like learning more about each other. He's always been very respectful. And, my husband is fine. And so, and I know fine when I see it. My body know fine when it sees it. And so, coming over, I said that to say, even though I had eyes and I can see, we came over, we developed a just good conversation. You have just had good conversation, like hours on hours. We were able to handle business, but just overall good conversation, good chemistry. And so that just kept going. And then we started talking about things outside of music, just life, things he was dealing with, things I dealt with. And that eventually turned into a friendship. And then it turned into, I ain't even gonna hold you, it was like a situationship.
Oh, what is that?
Because it was like, I had just got out of a relationship. He kind of just got out of one. And we were in that phase of, we ain't really trying to be with nobody, but the expectation was like,
I like you.
We really like each other. I like you.
Yeah, you like me.
But that's how this actually did come about. And I, started meeting his family. I started seeing we had a lot of mutual friends together. And I just liked the way that he thought. And he was genuinely this person. It wasn't like he was this person in front of people and it's different when we were alone. Like he was just consistently himself. And what I saw was positive. And so I was very much intrigued. I wanted to know more.
Yes, I love it. So let me ask you this, with, of course, you being a woman on the move, him being a man on the move, because a musician's life, my dad was a musician. He was a worship pastor for all the way up until he became an actual pastor. I know that lifestyle. How did you guys make it work? Because the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that people are having a hard time connecting. And like you said, you guys were conversating, y'all were spending time together, but I'm learning that intimacy, not on a physical level, but on just, I don't even know how to say it, but just that real connection, not what color do you like, what's your favorite meal, like how did y'all create that culture for your own relationship?
So very good question. A lot of it was honest communication and establishing, I think trust was able to be established through honest communication. And so when you are in especially if you're dealing with musicians, trust is going to be a huge factor because you risk being gone a lot, especially as a female, you're going to be around a lot of dudes, right? And you're going to be around dudes that's more than likely going to try you. That's for real. Just keep it real. You're going to be around guys and you're going to be around guys that if they don't know your situation, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, especially if you're in the church. You got rehearsal you meet on Sundays, you spend a lot of time. So honest communication and being intentional about making time for each other, like that really helped us out. Like, okay, we're going to try to watch a movie, even if that means I'm going to go to sleep 5 minutes into the movie because I'm exhausted. We still going to make that time for each other, or we're going to have dinner together. Or the little moments that we can get on my ride from one service to the next. If it's 20 minutes, we're going to talk on the phone. How was your service? How are you feeling? Little things to show that you care. Did you eat? Do you need gas? I mean, Cuz, he's just a gentleman all the way around. So, do you need anything? If you're coming back this way, I can have this ready for you, that type of thing. Even from then, even up until our marriage, we have always been intentional about finding some kind of time with each other. And then if what we're doing isn't working, communicating. Like, I didn't like this. I didn't like when you did this.
Come on
now.
Hey,
it's been about 3 days. I don't really feel like I got a chance to talk to you. I ain't hugged you. I ain't touched you. Like, just communicating that and making time to make the adjustment instead of being like, well, da 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 da. Right. Just really communicating, building the trust, making the adjustment. That has helped us out tremendously. And then, like, even now, sister, at this point, learning how to turn things down. That was something that I had to learn. Being a little bit not turn it down like the heat, but like literally like opportunities down. So sometimes you have to say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do everything. I would have 2 and 3 different things. Hey, I gotta be here, I'm gonna run here, sing here, do this 4 and 5 things a day, and I'm still gonna get up and go to work, and I'm gonna still try to make time. But I had to learn, like, Jasmine, there are some opportunities that you may have to turn down so you can be more present in the activity. Because when it don't make I do not, shall I say, even though he understood, if we make time for each other that I'm so tired that I can't be present, it kind of still is not optimizing the time together. I'm asleep, or I'm irritable, or I'm just trying to hurry up and get through it because I want to get in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't want to do that. I want to be present. I want to actually know what you're talking about, be involved, lock in with you. So it took me learning as well. Like, hey, you may have to turn down some opportunities. No, I can't make it. No, we can't go out to dinner. No, we can't this. I'm going to go and focus my time here. So we have just tried our best to make each other a priority, and not in a evasive kind of way. We understand what the assignment is for each other's life. We understand what's required for what we do. But we are also making sure that we prioritize each other in that. So that's the long way of saying that, but that has helped us out.
But I love that because, a lot of people like to say that, you must be equally yoked. And most of the time they refer that to being of the same religion. But at the same time, it's not just about religion. It's not just about faith. It's not even about politics and money. And it's those little things. Like you said, communication is important to you. So you guys made it important to your relationship. So that made y'all equally yoked. The fact that, if you're spending time, spending time, but you're not present, that's an issue. So you guys adjusted so you could be equally yoked. Like, I love that.
Can I add to that too?
Yeah.
I think too, we had a realistic understanding, which is these are the things that you liked about me that were interested about me, things that I was doing about my gift, if that makes sense. And these are the areas where my gift has made room for me. And you knew that, or those were things that you liked when you approached me. So it's not cool to then expect you to change everything about your life, you know what I'm saying, in order to accommodate me, if that makes sense. So we had an understanding, okay, this is what you was already doing. This is what is required for your lifestyle. All of these things, okay, I see this, what you got going on. We'll try to make it work around here. And if it's not working, we'll adjust. But sometimes I think people run into a lot of frustration is because, I like that he played the keys, and I used to love watching you play the keys, but now that you're in a relationship, it's a problem, and you're trying to do what you can to sabotage that.
Right.
No, you gotta be, you gotta come in with the understanding, like, I knew this was a part of your lifestyle. So as we are figuring out how we gonna create a life together, I need to respect that this is your lifestyle as it stands. So
I think that's what the difference is, though. You know, they like the talent, but they don't understand the lifestyle that comes with the talent. That's what.
That's a word, sis. That's a word.
They like the talent, but they don't understand. They don't understand the lifestyle, because musicians, they're up until almost 3:00 in the morning. They're gone. I mean, you even being a singer, you're there at. I sing as well. Like, we're doing sound checks. We're getting there early. We're trying to rush and get something to eat. Like,
you know the grind.
Yesterday, I'm doing conference stuff, but as soon as I was done with conference stuff, I had to go to practice. Had to sing a couple hours, then came back. Like, being aware of your partner's lifestyle prior to you getting there, I think it would help everyone get on the same page. And I think it's because a friend of mine would say that once we get married, all of this is going to change. And I said, that's not right. That's not right. That's not fair, because that's who that person is. That's who they are. Like, they wake up doing this thing, and the least you can do is meet somewhere in the middle and say, okay, I know that you do this thing, and it requires this amount of time from you, this amount of dedication, this amount of space. So how do I fit into that? Because this is what I need out of the relationship. And that's all that you're talking about, just being 100%.
That's it.
Honest up front. And the other thing is you're talking about being so honest by saying, I don't like it up front. We make that mistake.
This ain't gonna work.
Yes. We make a mistake by trying to be. It's not a superwoman complex. I feel like it's one of those situations where I can do it. I can do it. I can handle it. I
really feel like I can do it.
It's okay if you can. It's okay if you can. And it's okay to walk away. It's like, you are a great person. I think, and if people did this more in the beginning of their relationship, they would learn, hey, I really do appreciate you. I think you're an awesome human being, but I don't think I'm the right woman for you. I done told 3 guys that. They love me. They was like, no, I want you to
juice on them.
But
with the juice on them.
They was like, I want you to meet my mom. I said, before we do that,
mash it.
I don't think I'm the right person for you. And it's not that I'm not a good person or you're not a good person, but this chemistry is not gonna work. I'm gonna run over you.
Yep.
And you're gonna be like, Alesha, I just wish, and I'll be like, I don't have it for you. I don't have it. Jasmine, you dropping some nuggets, some gold diamonds, like you just mixing it up, dropping it. So I'm gonna go ahead and segue into something that inspired me that you did. When you started doing I call them a Facebook check-in, because I would watch you do it. And that's what it really was. Like, you was like, what you doing? What project you working on? Like, let's encourage each other. And like, this is how when you were coaching on Facebook, I said, look at Jasmine. She is doing that. You better do. I was so serious. You better do it. I was like, man, I got to get my stuff together.
Oh, good. Praise God.
It did, because you encouraged me to. There is a handful of women that really encourage me to just dig a little deeper and push through the insecurities, push through the fear, the doubt, the perfection that I struggle with as well. Like, wanting it to be exactly, you encourage me to push through it. And what led you to start doing that?
I know that I have been aware. First of all, thank you. That has encouraged me. I'm gonna cry about it later, and I mean that.
I love you.
I love you more. I have been keenly aware of my ability to empower others, and really what happened was the pandemic hit.
Right.
Things changed with my job. things changed within ministry because church was not doing, a lot of the things. I knew that I needed to be honing in on my ability to empower or coach way before I actually started doing it. But I had enough distraction to disobey. I had enough distraction to disobey. And I felt like, God understand, because I'm doing worship, so I'm still doing something for him there. And, I'm a pretty good worker, I'm still honoring him there, but I wasn't really tapping into all of the cues that he had been giving me to transition into this vein. So the pandemic hit and that shut down the other things that I was comfortable doing. Are comfortable with doing instead of doing the coaching. And so one day, I just was like, I talked with my husband. I was like, I'm going to do it. Not to be super deep. I prayed about it. I didn't stay in prayer because I knew after prayer I had to actually take action. Right. I talked to my husband about it. And I was like, I'm going to pursue this. So I went through some training. I ended up hiring my own personal coach because I think every coach needs a coach. And once doing that, I was able to get the tools that I needed to launch. And I stepped out on faith and did it. And it was amazing. The result, the impact was amazing. I'm not going to tell anybody starting off in entrepreneurship, especially if you're doing it definitely from the ground up for real, it's hard. Yeah. I was very nervous. I was very scared. There were times where I was stressed. There were times where I was like, man, I don't know about this. But the overall impact has been overwhelmingly amazing. It has its things that were uncomfortable, but as I say, it's only uncomfortable until it's not. And so I am glad that I said yes to that, and that's how I got started. I hope I answered that question, but that's what really led me into it. Everything else got shut down, and I had an opportunity. Really, to be honest, the Lord was like, you don't do it, I'm going to use somebody else to do it. That's what sums it up. Tell me that in prayer. He's like, if you don't do it, I'm just going to use somebody else to do it. I said, all right, rude, but okay. And
because he will do that.
But he will do that. He got me my way together. I said, do it. It's like, why not? So I had the support. I had support from, my parents. I spoke with my husband, and it was just like, go for it. So I did. And that's what you got. Fulfill life coaching. Hey.
I appreciate it. Oh, I do. You guys, we're diving in deep already. So I think we're just going to have to stretch this out a little bit longer.
Okay.
It's going to be part 1 for us. And I'm going to just go ahead and pause at this moment and get Jasmine to finish up a second half for me. Because, girl, we're having some good girl talk right now. And I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So you guys stay tuned and make sure you watch the second video.
See you at part 2.